go live.
High ball into right field. She is gone. Melissa fires it in the upper 90. Rushes three. Flacco steps up, throws deep, far sideline to Colby Jones. Has it at the 20 to Colby Jones. Touchdown, Raven! Right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! The heavyweight. In your life have you seen anything like that?
The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and drilled deep to right field. Going back Ramirez. Looking up. See ya. Home run off the facing of the right field upper deck. And the Yankees have come all the way back.
There it goes. A long drive. If it stays fair, home run. Misfires. Passes across the shot. They score! Can you believe it? My goodness!
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday right back, and another week under our belts here for the Winners and Dinners podcast. And this week, very honored to have a guest with us. Going to be introducing here, bringing to the stage, one Laura Messner for the folks out there of kind of Spartan race fame, but also just does an incredible amount of charity work, phenomenal singer, and always gets our mornings off with a little coffee dancing routine. So I'm going to just turn it over to Laura here to introduce herself.
Thank you. Yes, I definitely have done a mixture of different things. I've obviously have done several years as a full-time sponsored athlete in obstacle course racing, which has been absolutely a blessing. And before that, I was a full-time freelance model and singer. But now I just find my time doing a lot of trade work. So I just finished a job doing construction, and now I'm entering the HVAC field. So all in all, I feel like I'm living life to the fullest. As you said, I do a lot of charity work too, so that also blesses my heart. I'm very involved in church, things like that as well. So not as much time in the sports, watching sports or doing any of that. So this is going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's in store for this evening.
So, question for you, Laura. I just pulled up a picture. This
Yes.
is from the Oscar Mike Foundation, where I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you sung the national anthem to get a kick started.
Absolutely. And I've done it for many years that they've done it's kind of like their impact awards now. But Oscar Mike is near and dear to my heart. I've been working with them for several years. I think probably trying to remember, maybe 2016, I believe. So 10 years pretty much would be this year. I believe it could be longer, not so sure, but they're just wonderful people. And their mission really is to help bring wounded veterans back to being on the move, including sports, adaptive sports and all that. And it's just, it fills my heart with so much joy seeing the joy that is on their eyes and on their hearts when I listen to their stories or just seeing how much it has changed and impact their lives. So it's really a blessing.
So I first met you, God, this was probably back, 2013,
Right.
2014.
Oh yeah.
My buddy
Amazing.
here in the green, Jess Skoronsky, who you probably remember, the Hulk.
Oh, I
He's
sure do.
He's like, dude, you got to try these Spartan things out. It's just a great community. You're going to meet phenomenal people. And, over the course of the last decade, gotten to know some of these, obviously you more so than others. But
Yeah.
really curious, like you talk about singing, you talk about Spartan, you're singing at fundraisers. Like, what's your driver that gets you to do that? And, so many folks want to get into things, but they get nervous and they almost become like their own worst enemy and kind of don't let themselves get into things they want to. What advice do you have for them?
I mean, really, it's just finding the joy in it and finding yourself seeking more or being more goal oriented. I think goals are really a great motivator, because then it's not just going off of motivation per day, because we can say, oh, well, yeah, I'll start this and I'll keep doing this for years. But we base it off of motivation instead of there is a final vision. That's why people that are more goal focused tend to reach their goals faster than those that just are like, yep, I'm going to stay committed and do X, Y, and Z and overload their plate. And then in result, being overwhelmed, and then they don't do it. So I think for me, the biggest thing was not overloading my plate and instead focusing on one goal at a time. And in that, I was able to push forward and do the things that I have done. And yeah, I think really the focus more is goals for me. I mean, everyone has their own way of doing things, right? But for me, it was definitely the goals and staying disciplined on just one focus at a time.
And what was kind of the inspiration behind your coffee morning dance routine?
Have I never told you that?
Nope.
Man, so it was funny. I used to do life coaching, and I had one of my clients, and she is lovely. I wanted to create, speaking of goals, I wanted to create more goals with her based off of what she wanted to do. And she loves to sing and she loves to be active and dance kind of thing. So I told her I would do or set a goal for myself as well. One of my goals was to get up at 5:30 at the time, and before I did anything else, I was going to dance while making coffee. And so that was my commitment. And over time, I was like, it would be fun if I would send her a video every morning, so that way she'd know that I wasn't just saying that I did it and I was following through with what I said I was going to do. And so I sent her a few videos, and I was like, you know what? She finds so much joy in just watching these videos. Maybe I should just post it on a story and just see what happens. And I think this was back in like September of 2022. And ever since then, I kept doing it every day, but not just sending it to her, but posting it. And lo and behold, it is going to be 4 years later soon. Still doing it. So it's a great way
to started. Like, have you ever thought about starting a YouTube, like a podcast? Just when you have such great messages to share with people. And
I have thought of it, and it's just I don't do well just trying to do things like on that scale by myself. So I never really found someone or few people that was willing to commit to something like that with me. So yeah, I have so much stuff going on the rest of my life. So it's like, if I don't have that to keep me accountable, then I won't kind of thing.
So, Andy, any questions for Laura?
Well, I was reading up on the Spartan race itself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's intense. So, so for people who have, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, you trained for this at some point years and years ago. Laura, you've done this, and this is right up your alley. How would someone go about training for something like this? And what was your routine, your regimen like? Because I'm sure it's not something you just want to jump into as a novice.
No, well, when I did just jump in, because I did just jump in originally, I've never ran even a mile consistently ever. Maybe like in gym, right? But before that, nope, I was not a runner. I'm still not a runner. I don't consider myself a runner, but I jumped into a Spartan race. I fell in love with it. That was the 3-miler. And then I was like, ooh, let's do another one. So I did the super. That was 8 miles. My knees kind of hurt a little bit after that, but you know what? I was on the high of just what it brings to your soul every time you cross that finish line. Then I went to South Carolina for the Beast, which is a 13+ mile. And after that, my knees were just like, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure they swelled up to like as big as my head, both of them, to the point where I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't even like try to train even if I wanted to because they hurt so bad. I definitely was a heel striker, not good. So shin splints galore. It was great. But you got to get the gist. It just wasn't good. So over time, as I was building just my brand around the sport itself, I got involved with Yancey Camp. So Yancey Culp is an amazing coach, and he had worked with a lot of these top athletes in the sport. I wasn't anywhere close to the top athletes, but I was, more of the likable athlete instead of the top per se. I did definitely podium in a good handful of them, but regardless, he wanted to work with me, which was wonderful. So I worked with him for quite a while. And then when I really wanted to dig into what's wrong with my running form, I started working with Richard Diaz, who is a running coach. And then he started programming my stuff based off of the running that I really wanted to progress at. And just got the fastest I've ever been, the least amount of pain I've ever been in running wise, especially more longer time and longer distances. But then after that, maybe like a year or so after that, I started getting really burnt out, as you can imagine, doing it for 8 years long. And my body was like, yeah, I think it's time to take a little break from this. And then COVID hit and it was like, all right, I understand. That's kind of my out there. So yeah, it's been a journey though.
What happened because when my buddy Jeff got me into it, I was like, gaining weight, all that kind of stuff. And he said, you know what, this is just a great way to like exercise without really realizing you're exercising because you're going towards a goal. And it was such a cool community. And, people in, marathon runners and people worse out of shape than I was, but it was all like just a community and everybody helping one another. And then it just wasn't the pandemic. Like it just seems like that it went by the wayside. You don't hear anybody talking about it anymore.
I think it was definitely like we were at a peak in the sport, like right before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, everyone was riding that wave of the excitement and the camaraderie and all that. And when we were forced to kind of stop all that altogether, I think it just deflated a lot of people's spirit. And just like anything else, the pandemic brought a lot of people into like this deep depression and being restricted from a lot of things. And so trying to build back up from something like that is very hard for anything. But especially when it's not something that is a need, right? Like, I mean, we did that for fun. We went out and we challenged ourselves. And now that, life is kind of kicking us in the butt, after that, it's like, okay, that's a really not a need. It's more of a want. So we have to figure out what's most important right now. And I think once we built back up from that, we gravitated towards other things and the excitement wasn't there because not everyone that was originally in it before, like, again, the camaraderie and the family you kind of build, like, yeah, we're still supporting each other online, which I think is really awesome. But when it comes to actually going out of our way to make the distance and to hold each other accountable in those bigger ways that we were before, it's kind of dimmed a little bit.
You would think that it's, sorry, Dan.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
I was going to say, you would think that post-COVID, more people would want to do something like that again because, you were kind of cooped up inside, and then it seems like we just had this massive rush back into the real world where we had no time for anything. I think everyone's like 3 times as busy they were pre-COVID. Something like that sounds actually great right now. Something very communal and positive and uplifting at all at the same time. I mean, that's something I think we could all probably use a little bit. It does seem to kind of go by the wayside really fast post-COVID.
True. Well, and they've raised their prices a lot. And also, I think the big blanket of fear is always there from COVID and the fear of getting sick or injured, and what would I do? And definitely things like that really make you question and think things on a much, I guess, scarier level. But it restricts you too. It makes you not really challenge yourself, put yourself out there. So I think fear is probably a big part of that. Because again, with the rise of technology, with the rise of social media, it seems like we need less of the interaction with people because we already have it there. So on social media. So, and which is a bummer. That really
Agreed.
does sadden me, because we're missing out on what is truly important, which is actually coming together, connection, other than through a screen. So is it sad? Yes. Unfortunately, it's become the reality, but I hope and I pray that it starts to develop back again, because I do believe, like you said, the world needs more of that.
There was actually talk for a while, maybe you're more up to date with it, that it actually becoming an Olympic sport, an Olympic event. Do you remember that?
I mean, it again was definitely heading that way when it was, reaching that big climax. And I think I'm sure that's probably definitely where they're still pushing to go. I haven't heard anything as far as the details of that since I was last in it, which was, back 2019. I dabbled in a few races here and there since then, but I haven't heard anything of it, which, usually they want to spread as much of that as possible to hype it up.
They said they're actually really, there's an active push now for the OCR community, which is the obstacle course racing, to be part of the 2028 LA Olympics. So who knows? Maybe it's something we'd see in the future. That would really be cool.
Yeah. I know it was a matter of hitting a certain amount of countries and things like that. So it's just working its way through all that. I think that's the biggest hurdle, because it needs, I don't know how many.
I just pulled up a picture of you, Laura, with the eye makeup on.
Oh yeah. Yep.
What's the story behind that? Because that's I remember talking to different people, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get your picture taken with her, and she wears the eye makeup."
Oh yeah. So the story behind the war paint, originally when I first started doing it, I did like the 2 here, and that's just, everyone does that. It's like the football thing. Woo, look at me. Even though that's actually for a purpose. And I started doing that. And then I started doing 2 lines, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to look like a cat. This is a little weird too. So I just thought about it, and something made me think, or something gave me the inspiration for the ones that I chose, but then I gave it a little bit more meaning. So I had the 2 lines on the right side of the 2 arrows on the right side to remind myself to always go in the right direction, because Lord knows not every race, but a lot of races I tended to fall off course because I was just trying to breathe and push forward on the course. So it was just an ongoing joke of like 2 arrows pointing myself in the right direction, and then 3 on the other eye to always view the world through my third eye. So just not what it seems, but in the bigger picture, what it is. And it just stuck, and it felt good, and I wore it forever ever since. And it's just been my go-to. I love it.
Beautiful. So what filled your heart more, when young little kids, like little girls, would come up to you and want to talk to you, or folks that like facing a lot of hardship in their life and even disabilities that are just muddling through and giving it their all and accomplishing.
It really blesses my heart every time, especially the little kids, because, they're the next generations to come. And if they're involved in something like that and they're finding role models within a sport like that, and they're looking up to me, that's just the biggest honor, I believe. There was even a girl back when I was racing more consistently, and she was called Mini Messner. She was also a redhead, and we got matching shirts and everything. It was just so cool how much of an impact that you can make on anyone. And like you said, doesn't matter if it was disabilities, just people in general of all ages who are touched by your story. And why it just goes to show sharing your story is so important as part of your testimony. It really grounds you, and it really shows other people that you are also human, because it's so easy, especially on social media, to believe that you are just unstoppable and you're always happy and you got the perfect life and you're all together. And in reality, we're all so much more alike than we realize. We all struggle. We all have our stuff. And whether or not we show it or not, I mean, that's up to you. But there is a power that you give back to yourself when you do share that, because not only are you blessing somebody else and recognizing that, oh, I'm not alone, but now you're freeing yourself from that cage that holds whatever it is that you're trying to hide. We're human. So if anything, that's part of your story. It doesn't make you who you are.
So what was your pregame meal, your pregame food that you would eat before a big long Spartan?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't one of those I need to eat specific things. I probably should have, but I never was. We had an ongoing joke. I kind of piggybacked off of Amelia Boone's thing of eating Pop-Tarts, because I love Pop-Tarts. I was never a long distance runner like her, but I definitely looked up to her as just an amazing athlete. And she was eating Pop-Tarts a lot, and I was like, I could eat Pop-Tarts. I like Pop-Tarts. So it was an ongoing thing where I would start eating Pop-Tarts, and all of my California friends called me Pop-Tart after a while. So it was just funny. So anything sweet I really liked, but I have a big sweet tooth too. So
I know my wife got all excited during the football bowl games. There's now the Pop-Tart Bowl, and that's one of the sponsors, and they had these life-sized humans dressed up like Pop-Tarts, and then a big toaster. And you have to Google and see it, but it was really cool because they climb up the ladder and then slide down into the toaster and come out. So it was actually really, really, really cool.
I want a Pop-Tart outfit. That would be cool.
We'll have to see what we can do to get you one.
Right? I mean, I'd rock it. Absolutely.
So everybody thinks athletes have these amazingly healthy, strict regimens sometimes. You look at some of the stories of the pro athletes, what Wade Boggs would have a bucket of KFC before games. Mickey Telton would eat nothing but Fruit Loops, constantly poured in his bowl and just pile it up, and then go out and play a 9-inning baseball game. It's just so funny watching or hearing some of the stories of these guys and gals who are out there, what they're eating before their games. We're thinking, oh, it's probably nothing but celery and a piece of chicken and this. No. Pop-Tarts and Fruit Loops and KFC.
Yeah, I mean, some people definitely are very regimented and very much focused on, certain amount of carbs and this and that. And that is, beneficial. But I think more, especially for the distance ones, the really long distance where it's the carb loading, which I don't really fully believe in that whole thing. But I'm sure some people do. And I don't want to knock what works for them. But yeah, it's always never the same for everyone.
And your gym, that is pretty much self-made, right? You don't work out in some big $300 a month club.
No, I have an old barn. It's not even heated, and which is horrible in the winter, because trying to motivate myself, again, it's never motivation in the winter, especially. It's definitely discipline and having to just suck it up. And if it's 10 degrees in there, I guess that just means I have to keep moving to keep myself warm.
So, Laura, really the kind of the idea behind this whole podcast that Andy and I were talking about is it's winners and dinners. So it's around sports gambling, conversations around sports, the hot topics, futures, all that type of thing. I love cooking. My wife loves baking. So it just kind of turned into like this whole thing. And, I like to think I know what I'm talking about with sports, but I probably really don't. Andy, been a friend for many years. It's like, hey, can you talk to me a little bit about like how to get into this and what does this mean and what does that mean? So then I'd have friends texting, emailing like, hey, can you talk to me about how to put in a bet now that's legal? I want to get into it. So that's what really started this whole kind of podcast idea. Instead of just texting people individually, we said, you know what, let's have some fun, see if anybody wants to watch. Yeah. So I wanted to see, it's always been a conversation like, all right, am I smarter? Is somebody that doesn't know much about sports actually better at it because they're not overanalyzing? There's no paralysis by analysis. Now everybody and their mother's into AI thinking that can solve all the world's problems. So just had this idea of someone that admittedly, I don't mean it as a demeaning thing, somebody that admittedly knows nothing about the NFL, knows nothing about sports. Somebody who thinks they know a lot and somebody just getting to learn versus, a little later, put these games into AI, spew it out, and see how we all do next week. So I'm going to share my screen now again. It's going to pull a little something up. While I'm pulling that up, any questions for us? Any words of wisdom, anything from you, Laura?
I'm really, because, when you brought this up to me, I just thought it was so funny because it is true how there are some people who are just so knowledgeable of all the teams and all the sports and all that. And then all of a sudden, let's just say they have a bad week. And then there's somebody that knows absolutely nothing. And they're like, you know what? Boom, 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 boom. And they get all of them right. And it's just kind of ironic in those ways. So I love that you're doing this podcast based around that and just see the odds. May the odds be ever in your favor in that, because it makes it fun. I think it really brings a different level of excitement to each week to kind of see how it breaks down. So I just want to say I love what you guys are doing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this podcast grow.
And as a thank you, I'm going to be putting in some bets for you, and then we'll keep you up to date on how your balance is growing.
Perfect.
It's a little tax-free, but as a New Englander, are you in New Hampshire now, Vermont, Maine?
I am in central Maine. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the temperature outside?
Ooh, cold. I know that for sure. I can actually tell you in 2 seconds. It is currently 26, low of 19. Yeah, so not bad. It will be colder.
Are you like Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox? Is that your thing?
I mean, I grew up in southern New Hampshire, so have to always choose my New England teams. I know that they haven't always been doing so well from like what I've heard, which again, I don't watch enough of it. I don't watch any of it, but the people, like I have a housemate that watches all this stuff and I only hear the little bits here and there, like, oh, Celtics is on. I don't know if they won, but for the most part, I hear that, since Tom Brady's gone, that it hasn't been the same and blah, blah, blah.
So Tom Brady, hot or not, in your opinion?
He's a good looking dude. Yeah. He's got a beautiful wife too.
Although I you know what? Giselle was beautiful, but I love the girl that's on Blue Bloods. That was the mother of his child, Bridget Moynihan.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I'm more better with faces. Don't.
So I have pulled up here.
Okay.
The point spreads for next week's games. There's a game in progress now, the Houston Texans against the Steelers.
Okay.
So the first game next weekend is the Buffalo Bills against the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed, which means they are the best team going into the playoffs.
Ooh.
The Bills played yesterday. Now you'll see this little column here.
Mm-hmm.
That's +1.5, -1.5.
Okay.
What this means is if you were to take the Broncos, they can win, or if they lose, it cannot be by more than 1.5 points. So essentially, it's like a pick 'em.
Okay.
But Andy, I will start with you first to see who you like in this game.
Okay. Well, Dan, just a sidebar from last week's picks. Did you not have the Jags in that one?
I did have the Jags, so that was not pretty.
I think you did. So I am going to roll with Buffalo once again to pull off the upset in Denver because I don't know. This is the year the Bills were supposed to not really be that good. They snuck into the playoffs, and beware that team that's playing with house money. I'm going to go with Buffalo on this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to follow your coattails there, Andy. I'm going to go with Buffalo. It just feels like Josh Allen. This is his year. There's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Lamar Jackson. Sorry about that, Andy. Laura, Andy's a diehard Ravens fan. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. My team went down in flames yesterday. Andy's didn't even make it after last week.
Yeah, sad times.
Sad. So
sad times. I needed a Pop-Tart.
Right. What flavor though?
Oh, you have to go with the cherry with the white icing on top. That's the one. That's the go-to.
All right.
Yeah, the cinnamon and brown sugar, that's a little overrated. It's too strong or something.
I think you just hurt Laura's feelings.
Is that your favorite, Laura?
It's one of them.
Oh wow.
And I really like Funfetti when they do have it around. So.
Yeah, and it's funny because my wife she works for Acme local, but like Albertsons is a national chain that people know. So every once in a while she'll get samples and they'll bring different flavors. But there was like birthday cake flavor for a while, red velvet. So some of those do hit a home run every now and then.
Laura, do you like the Pop-Tarts hot or cold? Will you eat them cold or do they have to be out of the toaster?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah.
Either way, that was a treat as a kid because our mom wouldn't buy them. So we had to sneak when we went to a friend's house or sometimes because good stuff.
The worst though is like the Walmart brand knockoffs because they're like so cardboard tasting.
That is true. Yeah.
Gotta get the real deal.
It's got to be the real deal. So, Ms. Laura, any questions that you have, or is there a method to picking when you don't know anything about the teams?
I just go with the name I like better, or the picture I like better, or the colors I like better. It's no real I listen to what you guys say, but at the same time, I did like the Denver Broncos over the Buffalo Bills.
Is that because you like horses more than buffaloes or orange more than red?
It's because I like horses. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's probably a better pick than ours too, Dan. Let's be honest. That's a better pick.
I said, Laura, now you got this under your belt. We're going to start with you first here. San Francisco against Seattle. Now, you'll see -7. That means if you take Seattle, not only do they have to win by a touchdown. They have to win by 7. Or you can take San Francisco, which is let's say a deep burgundy, reddish, and gold versus the teal and gunmetal blue of Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do like the burgundy red. And I like San Francisco too. So I'd say San Francisco 49ers.
A little sourdough bread and some rice-a-roni.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I always think of San Francisco with if you've ever been through driving there, a lot of their roads are like this, driving up and down them, and it's so scary. I don't know how they parallel park and survive. It's just terrifying. I don't know how they do it.
And
thank God there's no ice.
But the the winding and everything.
It's
Yeah,
so scary.
Can you imagine that, Laura, in Maine, those types of streets with the ice?
We'd all die. We would die for sure.
It's not good.
A lot of accidents. Yeah.
Do you guys did you have a lot of snow days when you were young, or are they like just so used to it that a foot means nothing?
I mean, we had a decent amount of snow days. Yeah. Because they had to be careful that, nobody got hurt either, or, the buses didn't slide into anything. So we had a decent amount.
You may not be old enough to remember this, but snow chains on the cars. Do you remember that,
yeah.
Andy?
Mm-hmm. More on tractors, I remember them on, but
that was always the big thing there. All right, Andrew, who are you going with here?
I am going to go with Seattle on this one, just because San Francisco's playing banged up. I'm surprised they even got through yesterday.
That's for you.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I I didn't think they were going to beat Philly, and I'm sorry, Dan. But I don't think Lightning's going to strike twice with this. So I think the glass slipper falls off finally on San Francisco.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an ugly, kind of boring game to watch, where Seattle wins mighty handily, with especially with George Kittle out, which I love George Kittle. He's just such a great person for the game, great character. So I'm going with Seattle on that one. We stay in the NFC. Blue and gold of the Los Angeles Rams against orange and navy blue of the Chicago Bears.
Well, I got to give it to all my Chicago friends. So I'm going to be choosing Chicago Bears.
All right. I am going to, the Rams were supposed to have an easy week this past Saturday, and they kind of played with their food and let Carolina hang around a little too much. I think they realize they can't fart around this week because the Bears are better than Carolina. I'm going to take the Rams minus that 3.5, and Stafford is going to just rule the roost and have an easy victory.
All right, and I think I'm going to join Laura on this one because it's going to be cold. Mr. Stafford likes playing in the sun and or in domes where he's played all those years before. Weather's going to be a factor. That Bears defense is still one of the best in the NFL. If they can limit the time of possession for the Rams, and Caleb Williams showed me something. I was impressed. I didn't think that they were going to come back at all, but they've got a little bit of swag now after that comeback against Green Bay. I'm going Chicago.
All right, and then we have the college football championship game next Monday when we will be on here, and it is the Indiana Hoosiers battling the Miami Hurricanes. So now I'm really intrigued, Laura. What are you going to go colors? Or are you going to go weather phenomenon with the Hurricanes? Or are you going to go with whatever a Hoosier is?
What is a Hoosier? Yeah.
That's actually a good question.
Hoosiers are resident of Indiana.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I think that's what they call.
A really silly name.
Yeah. Well, the Buffalo Bills have nothing to do with buffaloes. I mean, that's named after some guy named Wild Bill something, I think, or William something.
It's so much
weird
than whatever the that word. Yeah.
Although it is rooted in pride and represents friendliness and independence. Okay. For what that's worth.
Yeah.
Well,
they're nice Indiana folk.
That's good. Yeah.
Now, here's the little kicker to this game. It's supposed to be a neutral site, but it just so happened to be at Miami where they will be playing. So technically, it's almost like a home game for Miami.
I really want to, and not for any reason other than I'm just leaning more towards it, is the Miami team.
The Hurricanes.
That was even before you said it was like a home game. So.
All right. And here's the nice thing. Even if they were to lose the game, just as long as they stay within 8.5, you are a winner.
Ah.
All right, Andy, what say you?
If you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said Miami in a heartbeat, but that Indiana team is really, really good. They've got a whole lot of good Hoosiers on that squad. So I think they're gonna roll. I know it's in Miami, but what they've done they decimated Oregon, and there's not a lot of flaws on either side of the ball on that team. So I'm gonna go Indiana to cover easy.
All right, I am going to be going with Laura's pick, the Hurricanes. I do think Indiana wins. I think it's a close game. Miami's defense is just that's a professional level defense. I think they keep it close. I do think Indiana wins, but I will take Miami with that 8.5 here. So, Laura, I'm going to stop sharing, and I want to show something to the audience, and this is also something here that you will get to select a column.
Okay.
And share screen again. All right, so the power of compounding. So you saw when we were looking at those point spreads, they would say like -110, -150. Those are what the odds are of a particular game. So created this document here.
Okay.
That -100 is basically a coin flip, like a game could go either way. As these numbers get higher, it's the more likelihood of a particular favorite winning that game. So if you were to bet $50 on a -1,000, you're only going to win $5. You'll get your original bet back, but you'll get $5. So you'll win. You'll have 55 back. You'll win $5. If we look at the even money, if you were to do a $50 bet and you win, you're getting $100 back. So as a thank you and for something for you to follow along, we'll be putting the bets in for you. Do you want to go safer, which is longer to get to a particular goal? I'll just say, let's just say 7,100. That would mean 52 days, but it's a lot safer. Or -100 would be 7 days to get to around that amount, but the likelihood of losing is far greater. Or you can go somewhere in the middle. So it's almost like your version of The Price is Right.
Right.
With that little yodeler that would go up the.
I guess in that case, I'm not like a huge gambler in that way. So, but I don't want to like play it really easy either. Like I don't want to play it super easy. So I would play, is it -500 and -300 or either
Yeah.
or?
That's or.
I just don't know which one I would. There's a lot of green under 300, so that's got to mean something good, right?
It's like the Holy Spirit leading you towards that G column.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right, so -300.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you'll be updated daily, every other day, where you stand.
Perfect.
The picks you have, which from the sounds of it, you won't know what that means, but we will make it.
No idea.
But we'll make it very easy for you.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
So, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
As a football fan and myself, when the Ravens were in the Super Bowl and doing very well, and, the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl, and Laura, big events that you would have, what foods do you think make an event bigger? If you're eating them at your house, going over to a friend's house, hosting people over, what's something that you have that just says, you know what, this is a big event. I'm rolling out the big entrees or hors d'oeuvres.
Do you want to go first, Andy, or?
Sure. Well, it's so funny though having you here too, because I think stuff like that is so geographically driven too, right? Because it depends on where you are. I only say that say it's funny because you're on, because I've been to Maine once, loved it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, but everyone was so pro Maine, everything. So it was like, oh yeah, I'll have a beer, give me something. And it might be from New Hampshire or Vermont. So I was like, yeah, it's from New England. No, we're not from New England. You would drink Maine beer. That's it.
Oh
And
my
if you're
God.
eating food, you're eating Maine food. And if you want, and that's the craziest thing I ever heard was, if you would, we'll get you anything you want. We go out, we get it for you. It's like, we have bear tartare was on a menu. I was like, no, I'm not trying it. I'm sorry, I'm pretty brave. I'm not doing bear tartare. I'm not doing raw bear. But it just made me think of how geographically driven food can be and how excited people get about it. So as a Marylander, and even more so being from Baltimore, you've got to have crab something, right? So I would have crab chips out. It's got to be the Utz. They're the go-to, or I mean the Hers. They're better than the Utz for the crab chips.
With the Old Bay seasoning.
Absolutely, everything's got Old Bay. So you can put on your Cheerios if you want. It doesn't matter here. That's fine. We'll do that. And then you got to have crab cakes. So you got to have crab cakes. You don't want to do the actual steamed crabs for an event because it's already messy enough as is. So you don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do crab cakes.
Okay.
And are we trying to impress people, Dan? Or are we trying to watch a football game? I'm trying to figure out so far.
What do you think? You're having your buddies over, and you want to show, you know what? This is a big game. This is the Super Bowl. I want to roll out. I just don't want to have little pastry wrapped hot dogs, although that's my favorite thing. You want to knock the socks off.
The blanket.
Yeah, we Maryland it up. I mean, because we do that for Raven games. We'll go, we tailgate, we'll bring stuff to the grill. We do a lot of seafood. We do shrimp and stuff like that on the grill, but we'll always have like burgers and dogs and things like that. But we get the Old Bay brats. There's a specific brats is Old Bay, so we get the Old Bay brats. We do orange crushes here. There's a Baltimore Orioles thing, but it's a drink with like vodka and orange juice and stuff like that. And people press the orange juice, they fresh squeeze, and people go crazy for that. They love that. And then really cheap beer, because Baltimore's good at that as well. And yeah, it's not gourmet. You're eating bar food, but you're eating bar food covered in Old Bay and Baltimore style. So that's probably what we'd be serving you. Welcome to Baltimore, hon.
And if Andy and I came up to Maine, Laura, what's somebody going to have at a house party, not in a restaurant?
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not as fancy as Andy. Sorry. Like,
Free Pop-Tarts and bear tartare.
Yeah, we'll give you Pop-Tarts and it'll be great, and popcorn. It'll be amazing. No, if I were going to like dish out something, it would probably be, I mean, I'm selfish, I guess. I do the things that I love. Stuffed crust pizza. I love that. And definitely maybe some homemade mac and cheese. That's always a good comfort food. And tortilla chips, because those are my favorite, with a lot of dipping options. I could eat a whole bag and just be fine. And as far as drinks go, I mean, I love whiskey. I'm a whiskey girl myself. But woohoo, it's so good. And any other drinks that people want, but I kind of stick to that one. But
straight out of the bottle, shots. Do you have a little lucky glass?
On the rocks. It's great. Yeah.
Just sip it. It's good. There's more to life than Jack and Jim. There's some good stuff out there.
Oh yes, absolutely is. So yeah, I'm nothing fancy.
What's your stuffed crust pizza? DiGiorno's, Pizza Hut, Domino's?
It's just one of those frozen pizzas, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know which specific one it's called, but it's delicious, whatever it is. You can get it at Hanford.
I tell you what, you hit like Walmart. Some of those ones that they have are every bit as good as some.
I'm telling you, you get it anywhere.
You doctor it up, put some like butter and some garlic powder, some onion powder on it before you bake it. That's good stuff. So what's your mac and cheese? Like the little elbow noodles? Do you like the rigatoni noodles?
The elbow noodles are great. And then you mix it up with a lot of Cheddar cheeses and other cheeses too. And I mean, put some evaporated milk in there, and you just do the whole 9 yards and add a lot of spices and
Top it off with a little Old Bay, Laura. It'll be perfect.
Ooh. I've not tried that, but you know what? You're onto something.
Once you try it, you'll say, wow, that was that. Where has this been all my life?
And I'll tell you, the store brand, the boxed macaroni and cheese with like the nuclear orange powder that you put on top. The store brand is better than the Kraft. You never had that?
Oh, no. I thought you meant like, I mean, I don't really think any really boxed mac and cheese is that great. Kind of tastes like plastic, but to each their own,
You're a cheap date, Dan.
I saved the money for the whiskey that you guys like.
There you go. There you go.
Get the good stuff there.
Good choice. Good choice.
So what food, if you were hosting a party, do you think makes you an instant legend? One of the things you already mentioned? Like when you go to a house, when you've gone to somebody's house and they've had a party, do you say, holy shit, this is, they knocked it out here? And what was the food?
Usually it's the people that get really creative with their dips.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that I don't know what people put in, at least the ones that I've gone to, and they have like these like 7-layer dips for chips and all that. I could just eat that for the whole time and be so happy.
They're true chipologists, Dan. You have to go to culinary school for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've been saying that's really cool? Like the flight boards that people have with the beers and the whiskeys and all that? They're French fry flight boards, like charcuterie boards almost.
Okay.
But you have your tater tots, you have your steak fries, your crinkle fries, your, shoestrings, and then you have all the different sauces to go with them.
Ooh. And sweet potato fries are amazing as well.
Dude, they really are good. And sweet potato wedges. Little brown sugar on top. See, I like brown sugar on my sweet potatoes, just not in my Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, well, it tastes good there too. So
now, what food do you think should never be brought? Like if somebody rings the doorbell, a good friend of yours, and they brought something in, are you going to say, I know you wouldn't say it to their face, but are you thinking like, oh, seriously? That's what you brought?
Maybe like steamed vegetables. Because then everyone's going to fart and it's going to be horrible and it's going to be a bad day, especially if you combine like beer with it. It's going to be
asparagus. Then every time somebody goes to the bathroom, it smells up the whole bathroom.
Yep.
Wow, this went dark fast. That's a double whammy now.
Or like asparagus, especially.
Yeah, that is the worst. It's so good to eat, but it's so gross. Like
it's delicious to eat, but not when you're in a big group of people.
Does that do anything for you, asparagus? Like, does that help your heart? Or is it just, it's a green veggie, so I guess that's got to be good.
I would assume. I mean, I know it's green, so it's good for you, for what they say. It makes your pee smell horrible, though.
Yeah. What was that line from Elf when they're like, I got an idea for a kid's book? What about a group of asparagus children who are self-conscious about the way their pee smells? No?
I don't remember that part, but I believe you. Because you kind of can't make something like that up.
So little
not that clever.
So what about you, Andy? What's a food if somebody comes over to your house? You're just like, serious? Although I do think you would tell them, are you serious? This is what you brought?
Well, it depends on how well I know the person, but it's just me. If you're going to bring over anything loaded with like raw onions and or mushrooms, like no bueno for me. Because I'm the only Italian that can't stand mushrooms and onions. So if you're going to come in and just kind of overload and I've seen people do that. Well, I have a buddy who will have a sub that's got like a piece of ham like this, a little piece of cheese, and he loads up the raw onions like this, like out. I think that's got to be my albatross with food, because most people aren't going to bring that, or someone like brings like, hey, like egg salad or something like that. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, bring something that everybody's going to want to partake in, but it's going to be relatively harmless and non-offensive. So nothing that's too pungent or strong or something like that, because that's going to throw off the whole vibe of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then I always wonder too, like when you are the host, is it more from the heart if you make stuff? homemade and take your time, or is it better to order out and make it like a little more fancier?
I guess it depends on the family and how good they are at making food or not, because
Yeah,
some
true.
people really like me. I'm not skilled or talented, so hence the frozen pizza and just homemade mac and cheese. Woohoo! But other than that, I mean, there are some very talented friends of mine that could cook up some amazing stuff. In which case, I say cook it all yourself. So,
yeah, I agree. I think it goes both ways, because sometimes you'll have like that guy who, he got his brand new smoker or grill for Christmas. He's been out since 3 a.m, like making sure everything's prepped so it's ready by the 4:00 game. And you're like, all right, this is great, thanks. But he's really wanting to show off his skills and his smoker, like, come out and see what I'm doing, right? Or there's sometimes when people try to cook and they're not really good, you're like, can we just get like wings and beer? Like it's kind of one of those. It's a happy medium type thing. You appreciate for the company more than the food sometimes, just because that's hopefully what you're there for. But yeah, it all depends on who's behind the grill or who's ordering from DoorDash.
mm-hmm.
Now, is your mom a cook, Laura? And by the way, I love when you two are in pictures together.
Oh yeah, I love her. No, she's an amazing cook. I did not get that gene at all, but she definitely is, and I appreciate it so much, because if not, I probably wouldn't eat homemade nice meals. So
when you were 12, what was like the thing that she made that when she was making it, you absolutely look forward to it all day?
Oh, well, if you didn't know, back in the day, like when I was 12, I had an eating disorder. So therefore, I didn't want to eat anything. Like I just didn't care to. Thankfully, I grew out of that. So probably like later on, I would love her homemade baked chicken and sweet potatoes, and then sauteed green beans. No, not asparagus, green beans. I love just like the fresh from the store, like you just pop off each end and saute it up and
Dude, you know what's so damn funny? So I had this debate, and oh my God, I just posted on Facebook like a few months ago. I love cooking, but I love canned green beans. Like growing up, times were tough. So we'd always have like just, the canned carrots, canned green beans, that kind of stuff. So many people are like, how can you eat canned green beans? You have to have fresh green beans. So I started to try, like I'd go to the farmer's market, get them, cut them up. I have to admit, there really is a difference. I mean, night and day, but when you fry them up and get that crunch, and some garlic and some butter, oh, it's just phenomenal.
But you can't tell the difference between boxed mac and cheese and homemade mac and cheese. I'm trying to figure that one out.
Yes.
Oh, I can tell the difference, but God, there's something about boxed mac and cheese, Gordon's fish sticks, and a can of stewed tomatoes.
Although
it's such a comfort.
I can't knock you, because it's funny, because everyone's got that one little like vice. Because if someone is making like homemade, like they boil them, get them all prepped up, they peel the skin, they make mashed potatoes from scratch, and I can get a box with the seasoned powder stuff with some milk and some butter and put it in there, a little salt, pepper. Like, I'll take that. I feel terrible, but I'd rather the box mashed potatoes than the real stuff. So I can't say anything, Dan. We've all got our hidden secrets.
all got our little kind of guilty pleasures.
God.
But, well, Laura, I know it is close to it's a school night for you and your new gig. And congratulations again on that.
Thank you.
So what time's morning for you? Like 5, 6?
Yeah, when I wake up, yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I don't mind waking up early. That's always been my thing. Never been like a more night owl. I'd rather wake up with the sun than anything. But yeah, I mean, I can go either way though, ultimately. It's just whatever you become used to.
Well, thank you for joining us. You have an open invitation. Such great insight that you provided. Thanks for the humor. Good insight. And who knows, you'll probably end up beating Andy and I and ChatGPT in your football.
I bet you will.
Maybe. Let's hope.
But good. Have a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Dan.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. And always, Dan, it's a pleasure seeing you.
Yep, you as well. And I'm going to kind of wrap this up here. Any final words, Andrew?
No final words. A round of applause for Laura. But no, I think great show, Dan. Laura, it was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to doing it all again next week, Dan.
Yep. And Laura, you're on the clock tomorrow. You'll get a text with what your first pick is on your little journey up the Price is Right mountain.
Yay! I love it.
Talk to you later.
Thank you so much.
Bye.